Hmm. Okay, so hello everyone, and welcome once again to another episode of When Gnomes Attack. This is a step-by-step making of a an upcoming graphic novel, which will be one day available on crowdfunding for all of you guys to throw your money at it. And the purpose of these streams is to go from the beginning of the conceptual work of the book towards the book. So creating the characters, designing the characters, and then eventually we'll do some pages here live for your pleasure. And I couldn't do this without the assistance of a cartoonist, which will be the man providing the lines for this book. And I mean, there's already a little tingle of a backlash against this book. I mean, it was expected as such. It is going to be a disgusting book, so full of really disgusting scenes. And I do remember that once Steve Jobs said that you don't usually do a product and then go look for the customer for the product. So you usually find the customers and then you make a product that suits those customers. Now, as far as I'm concerned, I do things slightly different. I just we do whatever we want, and then we expect you guys just to bow to it and appreciate in awe what we've created. So for that purpose, I will bring now my co-artist, my co-creator on this project, and that is Ipe Canales. There we go, and you're back on.
What do you guys think of my silhouette? Isn't it cool?
It's very cool. You can see the tip of the nose as well.
Yeah, yeah, right. I can see it. Ooh, ooh,
Okay.
how
Well, let me
erotic.
bring. It is very erotic. Let me bring up the character sheet with the description of the characters and share the screen. Pop this in here. Share it. Oh, I'm becoming so good.
Yeah, I noticed.
All
I
right.
noticed. This is getting much quicker.
Yeah, I know, man. It used to take 3 hours to do this crap. Okay, so this is episode 6. Um, we've done a character in each, and kind of we're halfway through the set of characters that we got planned for this thing. Now, the human characters, talking about the main characters, the ones that are going to lead the story, and they're going to be hacked one by one by household devices and the gnomes, the titular gnomes that just become possessed, and they're going to kill the guests and the inhabitants of the house as worst as possible. So tonight, I was thinking of doing the partia as it is here on the screen. Just so everyone thinks that their screens is frozen. They're not frozen. I'm just fixated here on this section of the page. So the partia is a male character. Now there is a type of individual in society, that are really annoys me. I mean, most people annoy me. That's why I got to do this book, yeah.
That's
But
why I make
it,
comics and I don't work retail.
but but this is the kind of individual that usually is street savvy, yeah. He's streetwise. He has some years to him. He's been around, yeah. But is a cross between a hustler and a wannabe mafia goon, yeah. Usually the guys that stink to bourbon. Um, they use a ungodly amount of putty for their hair. They're usually over the hill, but they just try to charm the 20-year-olds like they were still in their teens. And they're just pretentious bastards. Usually they have some business, corrupt businesses. They owe a lot of money to a lot of people. They actually done a living out of screwing other people out of money. And then to the core, they're usually lazy. Now, these guys are not necessarily part of the they're not real soldiers of the culture war, to be honest. But this is the sort of individual that I think this book needs. I need to bring a guy like this into this book so he can be maimed in the most gruesome way because he deserves it.
Just
But
because you
down to
dislike him.
sorry,
Just because you dislike him personally, right?
yeah, yeah, just because of that. And it's a pity that we cannot make the book really huge. Otherwise, I'll put a lot more crap in it. I just round it up to a small group of characters. I'm just each one of them representative of a type of person that I loathe in some way or another. Um, so, but here with the description, so we got Depardieu. He's a slightly older male. I put him as being French Canadian because he's, maybe I'll write some accent for him. Socialist to the bone. Obviously, he always hangs around with all these books, from the Les Capital through maybe Mein Kampf. Maybe in these bookshelf in these stinky bourbon duplex flats. And he's well, like I said, he's pretentious. He's got a goatee, so maybe you can squeeze that in. Well
Mm-hmm.
dressed, as the aforementioned sleek, greased up hair. Uh, and then this is really just extra information for myself for the script. Only says dumb stuff about any subject, but with conviction that makes you believe he actually knows of the matter. So that's the partio. I'm imagining a guy, um, with a nice silk shirt. I remember that mafia kind of style of guy. It's unbuttoned until about halfway through, so you see a little bit of a hairy chest, and maybe has a little bling, just a little bling, a little chain of something, a little gold chain, because this is the sort of guy that usually, he thinks he's a God's gift to the planet. Yeah. So, and apart from his, you know, face and his characteristics, his body structure, I think you should be a guy with a thin guy, thin
Was I
frame.
was I was thinking, what about a turtleneck sweater? Because he would look kind of like a college professor slash
Ma- ma-
mafia, but
the turtleneck sweater, yeah, that was obviously my second choice.
yeah,
So
college sweater with that gold.
I mean, let me just minimize this because right now we need the chat, man. Let me just let's say okay. Well, first of all, yeah, let's say hello to our viewers. Yeah, so we got Michael Ingart, and we got Chimera, and
Oh,
um, and I mean, one of the purposes to do these streams is actually we quite welcome comments from anyone and everyone on the chat to actually to actually tip any ideas towards the characters and towards the book itself. So eBay is thinking turtleneck, Steve Jobs reference. There you go. I'm fine with that. And I was thinking in a slightly, silky shirt, good quality, uh, unbuttoned, and showing a little bit of the chest. Either way, I'm thinking this guy should have a blazer, shoulder pads.
absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, even if it is summer, 37 degrees as it is right now here in London. I'm not sure what's the weather there, but it's quite hot
Yeah, it's
across Europe.
30 something as well. Yeah, it's very stifling.
Oh, there you go. This guy, I mean, you can tell when this guy arrives into a room because he stinks of this cheap perfume, but he kind of he drowns himself in the perfume, yeah, so much, and his clothes are impeccable. He really takes care of them. They've been creased, they've been ironed, and they've been waxed, whatever that all that crap that you do in expensive laundrettes, and you know um, dry cleaning places, and I'm thinking, like nice belt, executive trousers, polished black shoes. So even if it's very hot, he will always have his blazer on. Obviously, eventually you will lose it halfway through the book because he's going to lose everything. So there's not going to be much left of him, to be honest. I'm really planning something really gruesome. I mean, what happens to Jabba the Hutt on the barge is nothing compared to what's going to happen to the Pardieu here. So yeah, I mean, I don't know if anybody wants to leave a comment, either turtleneck sweater or unbuttoned silk shirt, please go right ahead. I don't think there's nothing that is in the middle, is it? Well, I say turtleneck shirt, maybe with a necklace on top of it. You know, this little gold necklace, whatever you want to put in it. I don't know. Maybe you want to put like some sort of symbol at the bottom of the necklace.
Yeah, I was thinking something hippish, like I don't know, a typical hippie symbol, like a
Yeah,
paradise, something like that.
there's this hieroglyphic sign which was very popular with the next new gen. Let me see if I can find that. You know that band called Ace of Base?
Oh yeah,
Yeah, they're Swedish, aren't they? Yeah, Swedish. They,
I think they
I
were,
think
they were pretty big
it's
in the 90s.
yeah, they were in the 90s. Yeah, okay. So they came and they went, but they had their logo is one of those new age symbols. Let me see if I can find that. Let me have a look. I'm not sure if it's their logo, if it's an insignia that they used in some of their albums. And I think that's perfect to be on a necklace, right at the bottom of a necklace.
I think you're gonna
Mm.
just close the laptop. Yeah, there you go.
Oh yeah, here we go. I found it. Let me just see if I can zoom in on this. Right, let me share this again. Mm-mm. Okay, here we go. Let's see. Something like this. You see this? It's kind of an inverted cross, and it's
Oh
got
yeah,
this.
the ankh. That's the Egyptian symbol of life. Yeah, I can do an
Yeah,
ankh. I
that's
was
it.
doing some kind of wonky inverted three thing, but yeah, an ankh works perfectly fine. That's also Death's symbol for Neil Gaiman's graphic novel Death.
Oh yes, and it's perfect because this. I've seen chicks wearing this anyway. I mean, back in the
Oh,
'90s, and so he's got this little loop here that is perfectly designed to attach to a little chain and wear it as a necklace. So there you go. I mean, the party should have this. This will define him as a nothing of a person. As you can forget that great line in Sucker Punch: if you don't stand for something, you fall for anything. So that's the
that's right.
party.
That's completely right.
That's the party in a nutshell. Oh, by the way, remember Nanowar, that band I mentioned last
Oh
time?
yeah.
All right, so okay, I found their videos. Yeah, they're really funny, silly videos. Yeah, that was the thing I forgot to mention. They have some hilarious songs. So I'm gonna screen share this. It's a YouTube video. I put it on double speed and I took off the sound. And if I just keep on talking over it, hopefully we don't get taken down because that happened the last time, and I don't want to be taken down again by YouTube. So okay, this is hilarious. Nanowar Seal Valhalla Alleluia, right? Now this is funny because this is a song about IKEA.
Yeah,
And now IKEA furniture becomes becomes the gods you sing to. So it's just both a send off to IKEA and the send off to the Norse mythology, while being a great rock song, great heavy metal song.
that sounds great. That sounds great. Right out my alley.
I'm gonna maximize this so you guys can see the the actual subtitles. Oh god, this computer, man, honestly, it screws up completely. Look at this. There we go. This guy's going here. This is like the church of IKEA, yeah. And they look like a bunch of Those guys, Hare Krishnas, yeah, they look like a bunch of Hare Krishnas, and they just talk about the. This is the name of the IKEA furniture, the chairs and the tables, pantry doors, black, brown, gray, green, and this looks like Latin, but it's not. It's the names of the furnitures, the IKEA furnitures. Now you got to listen to these guys, yeah. Nanowar of Steel. This is actually on the channel. This is on. They got their own channel on YouTube, and this is also by Napalm Records. So you'll find them on either of those places. Their own channel, Nanowar of Steel, or at Napalm Records channel in YouTube. Now these guys, like I said, they're a conglomerate of French guys, some Spanish guys, and Italian guys. Yeah. This is another one of them. Look at this. You're gonna find this one funny. El Campo de Nabos.
That's how
This one is
in
great.
Spanish. That's how you call in Spanish to a sausage party.
Yes, it is exactly that. Now, but it's a great video. It's got this. It's a guy. Look at the train. Yeah, look at what they're
Yeah.
shuffling in the train as fuel. And of course, it goes into a nice butthole there, and measuring, arms up. Everything is phallic. Has
Very sad.
no
Very
shame.
sad.
And then they somehow they squeeze the angry birds, and the angry birds go straight into a diner's butt. And it's a great song as well. So anyway, there you go. I wanted to share this for everyone to see how decadent these guys are. Definitely worth a look. All right. Let's bump you up, man. There we go.
Yes.
Oh yes, a little yeah, obviously he doesn't go to the gym, so it's nice if he has a
Let
little
me reposition the camera so you will be able to see the lower part of the drawing. I have this
uh,
problem. I always draw too low on the paper, so I always have problems fitting the feet. So maybe I just do it. But
oh,
no.
did you switch the cameras, or you just reposition the camera?
Yeah, no, I did. I think I did both.
Yeah, I think you switch cameras because he's like now he's a camera above the board, so but it's fine. I mean,
Mm,
can see everything. It's good.
okay.
I think this is better because this one doesn't have the flickering. So
Well, then it wasn't all that a bad decision, was it?
yeah, I mean, you probably realize it's not the horizontal setting. Yeah, he's on
Yeah.
portrait now. So, but it's okay. Can still I still give you the full screen, so you can still see well. And yeah, M- Michael Hart, yes, more penises than Moebius artwork. Yeah, check those guys out, Michael. They're called Nano War of Steel. They play well. They got nice riffs. If you dig, I know you dig. I know you dig heavy metal and hard rock. So have a look at that. You probably know them anyway. So I think you're a good fan of that sort of music. Right. I'm just gonna go and have a look at our guest and see if I can send him the link. Right. Here we go. So let's see pretty soon if I can have someone joining us, just so I can show off his work. Really, really love the work this guy is doing. He's doing a werewolf book, and I'm enjoying it very much. Went crazy about it. Great art. He is centered on a female protagonist, and I'm really liking his sequentials. They're really nice. So I wanted to bring him here and have him show off a little bit because he works digitally and he shows off the book at a Patreon page to his backers and supporters. But he's thinking on doing a print run, and I'm really being insisting with him to really do it because is I think it's really fun work, and I'd love to have that in the print form. And he's actually coloring it. He hadn't done a colored version yet, but he's done it now. So he's reworking the pages, I think. And I just sent him the link, and hopefully he'll be here soon. And I've heard of Glory Hammer, says Michael in the chat. Glory Hammer. Yeah, is it one of their songs? I mean, honestly, I don't know the guys for that long. I just came across them like literally 2-3 weeks ago, and I went to their channel. They got some really old videos, like from 10 years ago. And yeah, I heard a couple of songs. They were pretty good, and they were really fun. The guys, so I'm definitely gonna check them all. Maybe Glory Hammer. I've I, I've seen it. Is it one of their songs or is it another band? I'm not sure. So let's have a look here. Let me instruct our guest. See if he over. All right, so you got dinner planned, is that right?
I got a what? Sorry.
A dinner party planned for tonight?
Oh yeah, well, with my mom, who I don't know if I told you, because I think I told everyone, but she just had that painful back surgery she's been waiting for 4 years now, and she finally had it. She's now barely able to walk, so she
Hmm.
wants to go out and have dinner. And being as how I am basically his husband now, her husband, sorry. Well, I'm supposed to take her out on dinner.
Oh, okay, very nice. So taking her out to dinner. What's the place you guys are gonna go? What's he planned?
It's nothing too fancy. It's just a small deck, a small pub with a deck, not far away. Like maybe 50 meters away from my house, so she doesn't have to walk too much. Maybe some tapas, some
Hmm.
typical Spanish tapas, or pinchos as we call them here, up in the
Hmm.
north.
Hmm. Hmm. Very good. Oh, okay, okay. Let me do this. I never do this, so I'm gonna show the thing. Here you go. Glory Hammer are a band. Okay. Oh, uh, all right. So one of the members of Glory Hammer was in the video with Nanowar. Right. Okay. I think I understand that now. Okay. I heard about Glory Hammer. I just, it's so many bands in my head that I wasn't sure if it was a track or if it was an album name or if it was a band. But there you go. It's a band. So I can remove them now. Here we go. So turtleneck, yeah.
Yep, absolutely. This dude needs to look like a pretentious asshole.
Okay. And then are you going to are you going to grayscale this a little bit by hand live here? Maybe like the sweater or something, or maybe some crisscross pattern on the blazer, or is it going to
Yeah,
be
I
just
may
yeah?
I may do that. I may do that. Actually, I just remember I was supposed to be scanning the sketches I did, and I never got to that because I'm an idiot and I sleep too little. So yeah, I'm totally going to scan this bad boy and give him some texture as well as the others.
That's it. Yeah, I mean, yeah, do whatever you feel to the other ones. I mean, in terms of wardrobe, I mean,
Hmm.
the plan eventually is when we get there. I think. Do you think we should grayscale the book, or is it going to be just a stark black and white? What's the
I think
stylistic?
grayscale.
I
I
think
think
so.
grayscale it's a good idea. It worked for the abductables and pretty much for every book I made. So yeah, I think I'm pretty used to grayscale.
Hmm. Hmm. Oh, by the way, next week I'm going to share here. What next episode? I'm going to share the work you've done for SOS. Is it the right name?
Oh yeah,
SOS.
that's
F,
exactly.
From what I know, I think that's probably some of the best pages you've done, man. I really like
Yeah,
some of
probably.
that
No,
stuff.
thank you. My best pages are always the last I've done.
Maybe so, but I was severely impressed with with the creatures and the way you assembled quite a lot of characters in of all different shapes and sizes in just one or two panels. Like
Thank you.
splash pages. You gotta. I don't have the book with me, so I'm not sure if or how many splash pages you have there, but it's quite a few pages with some very large panels. So yeah, I
Mm,
like that very much. It was pretty cool, and
thank you.
and I think he's well written. I mean, the guy. I think the writer, the creator, is here. Is it? Is it? I mean, it's Chimera. He goes by the name of Chimera, right? So I'm not sure if he's
Mhm.
him right now on the chat, but we got a Chimera here on the chat. Thundercats. Lionel.
Yeah, that's name, all right.
Did this cartoon actually they actually went ahead with this cartoon because I don't know where they shown it or how long it was, but they've actually done it, haven't they? I mean, was it one season or something?
I think it aired and it was a complete failure and no one liked it. And the network took everyone outside the back of the studios and shot them in the back of the head.
Yeah, I'm sure there was a little conversation afterwards. So that's what it was. Right. Yeah, I don't even know how many episodes it had. Let me have a look at that crap. Thundercats reboot. But hey, the Shira, it's going on pretty strong, huh? I mean, how many seasons they have already?
I think they're gonna go for the third season now. All the more power to them.
Yes, that's right. Third season. Thundercats reboot. Okay, this is the early 2010 series. I mean 2011 series, which was actually not bad as a reboot went, which was kind of anime stylized as well. I mean the original team in the original Thundercats was obviously a Japanese animation house. The Americans just sent it to them for the work. But this one really the reboot in 2011 that really went anime basically. It's just was very much in your face. I'm trying to see the new one. Should be here. A funny thing here. I'm okay. I'm gonna share this so everybody can see what I'm talking about. Uh, this is the Wikipedia entry of the Thundercats 2011 reboot. Now, when you have presidents, right? And here in this box here on the right side is listed, preceded by.
Yep.
Now they should do the same thing with reboots. The original here at the bottom you would have a box, and then preceded by, and then we can see the new TV series,
Yeah.
the that
Yep.
one. It makes sense, wouldn't it?
Yep.
Let's see here at the bottom, maybe reception was good. Just want to find the other one. Cancellation. See also. Nope, we don't have it here. Adult Swim, Symbionic Titans. What the fuck is that? Never seen this. So when was that? That was like Thundercats Roar, of course, because it's called Thundercats Roar. Forgotten about that. Not only
Why
they
is it
rebooted
called?
this.
Why is it called Thundercats Roar? Cats don't roar. Cats meow.
Well, yeah, it's like because the main character is called Lion. No, that's why.
Yeah.
Very smart guys.
Got him.
Thundercats Roar. Here we go. Production, reception. Let's go right to the bottom. One line. Oh, we got the list of episodes here. 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Jesus Christ. Honestly, they actually paid people that far into the production. Poor bastards were forced to do 28 episodes of this shit. God. I gotta say, the trailer was funny. Yeah, I gotta say the trailer was funny. Would I watch it? No, because I haven't. But the trailer was actually funny. Now it'd be cool if there was a spin on this. It would be like, like what we're trying to do. Yeah, like it would be adult oriented, but a little cartoon characters, silly cartoon characters, and then just be really R rated. That would be fun. But obviously they can't do this with this franchise. So there we go. Thundercats Roar announcement was met with backlash from fans. So it's always down to blame the old guys. Here we go. Backlash from fans of the original series. Oh, of course, there's backlash from fans of the original series. How the fucking idiots, man. How did they go from? Yeah, okay. Let's go back to this bullshit. Yeah, I mean, now wait a second. Here we go. Open image. So, shit. I want a big image here. Jeez, they're all small, these images. Okay, let's see if this one I can. Right. So, how do you go from. There we go. This is what I wanted to compare. So, how do you go from this, right?
Right.
This is great. To this. Okay, now, how
Which
do you
is
go from this?
AIDS.
Yeah, to this, and you expect no backlash. let me let me rephrase this.
But didn't the main guy behind the show, that annoying insufferable prick with a man bun, didn't he actually admit that he was doing it just to piss off his bigger brother?
Yes, I remember the guy. I think we actually shown his mug on one of our streams, and I remember I shared this pic that was snapped in the office where they had the cork board in the wall and they were setting up the script and the scenes and all that. So the breakdown of the script, and yeah, well, I shared a photo. I remember I should shared a photo of the team. Was either the writing team of Shira, was all chicks, slightly chubby, but I remember the guy. Yeah, and I do think he says something to that tune, either to piss off his brother or actually just to piss off the guys that like the old cartoon. Yeah, basically us.
Yeah, prick.
So there you go. I mean, you go from this to this, ah, and then that's a backlash. Oh, these man babies! For fuck's sake, man babies. I mean, come on, Shitara is hot. I always like Shitara, so we should.
Everyone likes Chitara. Every straight kid discovered the first erections with Chitara.
Of course, let's have a look at Shitara cosplays.
Oh yes, please.
So, shit. Oh, here we go. Let's see. Let's see something worth our while. Yeah, 'cause he's pretty psycho design. Yeah, I mean, remember the Cats musical? Yeah, that's the sort of shit. Oh, look at this. She has to paint herself all white. She had to put all this flowery mixture on her skin so she can look as pale as Shitara.
I'm extremely cool with that.
Mm, there you go. Hello. Is it the same chick? Yes, please, more cleavage. And this is a modern version of Shitara, yeah? I mean, come on, that's the hair, isn't it? Let's see the original. Okay, here we go. Shitara has kind of this typical 80s style wild mane, yeah? And this one is almost there, I would say. That's pretty good. This one, yeah. I mean, this is more appropriate for the character, for a humanoid version of the character. But he's a version. It's not necessarily a more to the point description of the character. Got some heavy hitters here. Let's have a look now from see what we got here. This looks like San Diego Comic Con. There's
Yes.
Yeah, San Diego Comic Con entry of Shitara. Oh, this one has her own hair. She hasn't put a wig over it. She has a nice push-up bra in the middle of whatever swimsuit she's wearing. What's this thing here? Shitara has a bracelet like that? Never seen that. Let's take these guys out of here before I get pissed off. Yeah, she doesn't have a bracelet. She has like these sleeves. Shitara has these sleeves, and she has these little rings halfway through her arm. Actually, let's bring up Shitara. Oh. Hmm. Actually, there you go. I like the version on the 2011 cartoon. Okay, this is a spiced up version, but it was basically like this. There you go. There she is. That's the 2011 version. Not bad. I enjoy that. You see, these guys had no problem in making a nice boobage, like a character should be. And this is what I meant with the anime style. I mean, it's really there. I mean, proper anime. That's the original one. And now, oh yeah, she has that bracelet thing. Not a bracelet thing, it's like a manacle or whatever that is. Like
She
I
always
forgot.
had. Bang bang.
But I I never noticed that. Can you believe it? I
That's
know. Well,
because you're
I remember
taking down,
this
Louis.
little.
That's why.
Yeah, I was looking at the chest piece, man, and the hips. I never paid attention what she
Can't
was
say I
wearing on
blame
her
you.
bloody arms.
I can
Exactly.
say I
So
blame you.
sorry.
Mm,
There's a bracelet. Okay, this one is pretty. This one is pretty on point. There's his little gold bracelets here. There's got that little crap there. Yeah, and she's gonna have one arm in one collar, and the other one. So I'm not really sure if this is part of the costume. The left arm being slightly different color than the textures on the right arm, but it's probably her skin, isn't it? Because she's a cheetah, so and they got different tones of orange and cream, besides of the spots. What else we got? Of course, got yes. How many of these? I always like how they squeeze the dates in between the fingers. I love that shit. I think she's a party girl.
yeah, boy.
I can tell. Yes, she takes. Jeez, I got so many open. I don't even know which one it is. Okay, let's see. Open up. Yeah, there you go. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Okay, so
Like
I
some
think
of the
this guy is
ladies we
done.
know.
What do you think? Can you see him? I think him. Am I upside down?
Let's have a look. Yeah. What you need to do now? Yeah. There you go. The pardio. There we go. No big deal. Yeah. Okay. You know what?
Think.
You gave him a proper French look. Yeah.
Yeah, I was going to say. Yeah, I think French
Very
works.
nice.
The Canadians can be pretty pretentious themselves, but yeah, I think he looks
Yeah. Well,
like a French teacher that has like a French sociology teacher, so to speak.
it's of time, like straight out of the late 60s or early 70s. By the way,
Yeah,
this
absolutely.
clicking that I can hear it is probably our guest. I
Oh,
haven't had a chance to speak with him yet, but he's here. So, and he's got a little bulge there. Nice. I mean, he's always horny. He's always trying to charm the
cool.
ladies, obviously, because he thinks he's great. Yeah. Okay. Looking good,
I think
man.
we'll get along great. We'll get
Okay,
along
that's
great.
one
Him
more.
and I.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. Lem. So you got to go, or um,
Sorry, you're roboting out
I
real
want to
bad.
bring my guest.
I don't know what you said.
Is
You
it
kind of broke.
me? You know what? You know what it is. I tell you what it is. Can you hear me now?
Sort of.
Okay. You know what it is? It was all those shitaras, man.
Oh, yeah, yeah, that makes
They were
sense.
burning my computer. I just closed all of them now.
And I bet they were the thing
And
they
by the
were
way, I had
burning.
yeah, I know. And Paul Costa here visited us for a little bit, but then he had to go. So it was a
Oh.
very quick visit. Always happy to see you, man. Our resident comic book historian knows everything about everything. So anything you guys ever wanted to ask about comics, just Costa, you'll find him on Twitter, on channel, you're on YouTube, and interviews with creators, and he always gives us a lot of trivia about historical facts on comics. There you go. Yeah,
Mm.
I'm sorry. This thing is kind of lagging a little bit. Um, yeah, our guests have a problem with his mic. It doesn't have the mic connected though. Anyway, Canales, if you need to go, you can go, and I
Okay.
appreciate you. And this guy's a bit tall though, isn't he? He's a fit guy
Yeah,
on the legs, isn't he?
I wanted to make him
Fair
like
enough.
lanky, like lanky, but he
I
has
mean, we
let
we need
himself tall.
always time between now and the actual book for you to polish the characters if you feel like it. So that's always
Yeah,
something
no, yeah, there
up
definitely
for
will be
review.
some redrawing. Yeah, there definitely will be some redrawing involved when the actual comic goes into production. So yeah, I'm gonna get going now,
That's
guys.
right.
It's been great. I guess next week same time.
Yes, thank you very much for dropping by. It was a pleasure, and do enjoy your dinner. All right,
Thank you. Same.
I'll
I'll
see you
be
later.
around.
Bye bye.
Bye
Yes, you'll
bye.
definitely be around. Bye bye. And that was Canales. Right. So our guest is here. I'm just gonna try and and see if I can get him on. So in the meanwhile, I'll just put this stuff here on a standby. If anyone would be so kind to bear with me for just a second or two. And I'm back. Hi, man. You okay?
I think so. Can you hear me?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean,
Okay.
once I put you here on the main screen, you can just start rambling if you want. Just
Well,
start chatting. It's not a you don't need to it's not the Johnny Carson show. You don't need to wait until you're announced officially.
okay. Well, I've never done this before, so
Yeah,
bear
once
with
you're
me.
here, you're here. That's it. I
Cool.
don't know if you want to change to your icon.
Well,
'Cause,
I am. Oh, wait a second. There we
yeah,
go. Okay.
that's it. That's it. The
Get
other
that
thing
pretty
looks
face
like
up there.
you're in the space station and
Yeah, we don't want that.
waiting to get around the Earth yeah, the clicking is just probably because your mouse is just too close for comfort for to your microphone. Maybe that was the only little side issue, but that's perfectly fine if you don't use it. That's okay. So how are
Okay.
you?
Good. Good. I just got up a little bit ago, so I always tell you, I work nights, so this is like my morning now. Even though
I
it's like
know.
what 3 p.m. here, but it's what is this still nighttime there, or was it? It's morning or closer to the morning.
Well, here is 8 o'clock in the evening,
Okay.
and I do remember you saying that you do recover during the day. So obviously, I was
Right.
thinking this is a bit earlier for you.
Yeah.
But it's halfway through the day. We would wish to do this uh, much later here, which would allow you guys to watch this at 6, 7 o'clock in the afternoon. It would be a much more Christian hour. But unfortunately,
Right.
if some of the guys have the stamina to do these streams here in UK at 11 o'clock in the evening, which is the right time for you guys. But I just don't have that stamina,
Oh, I
or
got
wish
it,
I
man.
had.
Yeah, me
Uh,
too.
you gotta give me. I really wanted to share your book. I want to share your work here, so you
Yeah.
gotta give me a link. Um, send me the link on Twitter of where I can see and share most of your pages because I remember seeing it once. I read a lot of pages there,
Hmm.
and but I somehow I lost it. I don't have it with me. So is it possible you do that, or you want to share some pages from your side? It'd probably be easier if you give me the link and I do it from here.
Is there well, I can actually maybe get a link to a stash online somewhere. Is there a way I could do that? Like I can drop some photos into a place and then because I don't really
Yeah,
have it other. Okay.
you can do it by screen sharing on your side,
Okay.
which basically will have the same layout.
Oh,
And
screen share. Okay.
yes, it's
I think I see the
somewhere
button
there.
for it.
Yeah, it should be at the bottom there for you. And it's really hot here. I need to keep on taking some drinks, some refreshments. Ice melted already. And yeah, well, been looking at this new page you're working on. Yeah, I'm loving the colors, man, of what you're doing here. You've been through this really nice process here.
Yeah, thanks, man. That's actually one of my favorite things to do is color. Like I like doing regular sketching and like I don't know if I told you this, but I pretty much do everything. Like I go from sketch to color is all me. So it's kind of a heavy job to
Yeah,
take on. But coloring is
okay.
like my um, therapy. It's like
Yeah,
because everything else
yeah.
is so hard. Getting to the color part of it is just so nice, you know. So
Becomes enjoyable, isn't it? Let me I'll just share what I got here. This is what I'm talking about. It's pretty cool. This is a work in progress. I think you can see it there on the screen. So you do this usually, and I love the lines. Yeah, the lines are really great. I mean, the black and white will do for me.
oh yeah,
But
that's actually that's a I think that's still a work in progress page. I got the full
yeah,
page all done, so I think I did the screen share. I can show you later. But
I
yeah,
can see here. I can see here the flats here at the bottom of the panel.
yeah,
But here you already went into rendering and all that, the ear and the eyes. But the colors are coming along really nicely, man. I mean, there
yeah.
is he's pumping up the inks, and that's I appreciate that. It's they're the right kind of colors, so everything is coming along really nicely,
Thanks, man.
gelling together nicely.
Yeah.
But
I
yeah,
like that.
I want to see if you what I really want to see if you could share the whole transformation of the girl into werewolf, because I goddamn dig that, man. I mean, it's like the
Oh,
first
nice.
pages.
Oh, okay. You want to see from start to finish? Oh, okay. I
I
think
mean,
it's quite a few pages. Maybe I'll cut it down to a few select ones, but I
that's
need to
why it's
just
cool.
like basically that's what it kind of devoted the full first chapter to. Basically, kind of like a
Okay.
cold, just like bam, it
Mhm.
just kind of happens. But the rest of the story is basically her trying to figure out why she's a werewolf and who did this to her, how did it happen, or where did it come from.
Give
But
us
yeah,
give us a gist on it, because so what is it? What we're talking about? So there's something about Sue, yeah? That's
right.
the book,
And
yeah.
it's a big mystery, isn't it?
Exactly. I'm loving the logo, man. Very 80s, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, there's let me just do this.
Oh, here I can actually.
There's this logo here that we got behind, which I can show it right now.
Oh, I love yours. Yeah, the When Gnomes Attack.
Yeah,
Real
right.
80s, real 80s vibe going on there. Dude, I dig the 80s aesthetic stuff so much. That's obviously what I try to go for a lot in mine too.
Yeah, that's
So,
right. So, well, we go. I can't show it now without taking us off, but there's a little one here on the top right of the screen, and we
Mhm.
both got the pink because there you go. There's
Oh
something
yeah,
about
gotta have the pink, man.
there's got to be the pink there,
And
man. We love the
glowing.
pink.
Things gotta be glowing.
Yes, always. So, so it's a series of. So you're doing this digitally, and you're showing this off online, and you got a Patreon page going, right?
Right, yeah, and it's
Yeah.
started the Patreon I think in late 2016, I think.
Right. Okay. And I'm
And
gonna drop. I'll drop the link for that under the video description when we're done with this.
awesome.
But
Thanks.
so you've done this in black and white, and that's what you have there at the moment, right? But now,
Most of it is black and white, yeah.
yeah. And so this is a single book, or is this like a trade size book, or is it like single issues, floppy kind of story? What's the plan exactly? How long is this altogether?
Well, so far I think I want to. It's going to be one book basically, but it's going to be split into 3 or 4 parts. I'm more part leaning towards 4. I'm almost done with part 1, which is going to be close to 150 pages, I would say, close to around. But I still have when I say done, I mean I'm done. I'll be done with the actual inking, sketching. But as far as coloring, that's gonna take a little more longer to do. But I wanted to have a goal by the end of this year to have all of part 1 done, and then get that going to make a physical copy.
Right.
But I'm gonna have to probably push that back to hopefully crossing my fingers if I can keep at it spring of next year.
Mm-hmm. Okay. When by the way, when I'm asking about what's the actual physical size of this thing,
Oh, physical size.
I mean the page count. That's what I meant. But when I approach that subject, and with all the respect towards digital comics, I'm not actually thinking about page count on the screen. I don't even know how that works. Although it's great that you have it online, because otherwise I wouldn't have actually come across it. And it looks great on the screen. But when I actually ask about what's the plan in terms of publishing the book, I'm really thinking about a print run. So you tell me 150 pages. So it's going to be a single book of 150 pages. So it's like a trade, yeah.
Correct. Yeah.
Right. So you're not thinking about breaking it down in little floppy issues.
Probably not. I mean, it possibly could, but the chapter sizes would be different.
Doesn't work.
Most of the chapters. I think that maybe the first chapter. Oh, the first chapter is maybe. Actually, I got it right here. Let me see. First chapter is 23 or, well, no, around 25 pages, I think, give or take.
Yeah,
But
could be a
then
floppy.
Yeah, that one could be a floppy, but then like this last chapter I'm doing, saying there's a lot going on, and I'm betting it's going to end around the 45 page mark. So
And
it's almost like two.
Yes, and it's not suitable to breaking it down, isn't it? To separate it.
Not with what's going on.
Doesn't work.
Yeah, I might possibly be able to, but
That's fine, understandable. I mean, it is what it is. The thing is that when I actually seen those first part of those first 23 pages, the transformation and all that, I'm thinking, this is great. This is great material for a floppy series, because I'm always a floppy guy. I love floppies, although obviously some books need to be a trade. They need to be a trade, and after a guy does 3, 4, 6 issues of floppies, if he condenses it into a trade, I'm also a big fan of that. I'm fine. It's just I don't know, man. This book really feels like something that would be cool to be in a flop, But again, if it's going to be in a trade, it's going to be in a trade. I mean, whatever it's going to be, I'm going to get it, man. When you finally have a print run of the color version, I'm there. I'm your first customer.
Hey.
So, but I really want to show the pages, because I really dig the way you're doing the sequentials, and I'm digging the art and all that stuff. So
appreciate it. Yeah, I'm compiling the sequence together here. So give me just a couple minutes here, and I'll have it ready for you.
Sorry, I should have given you a heads up for this.
Oh, you're
Sorry,
good, man. You're good.
I mean, really, the only one I have is the last one you posted, without me actually having to go back on your portfolio online and try to find stuff. And but in the meanwhile, I know the story is set in a small town, and he starts exactly with a lovely splash, not a splash, a double page spread of the town, isn't it? It's a town by
you've seen that.
Yeah. And I think that's your opening. That's your opening 2 pages, 3 pages there, isn't it? And
the first 3 pages, yeah.
And what's the story then? How does he start? What is this about? It's about a teenage girl. And take it away then.
It's about it takes place in a place called New Salem, New Jersey. It's actually not a fictional town. There is actually a Salem in New Jersey, there's a Salem in so many states, but and just like I always kind of like that idea of if there's going to be a creepy town somewhere, it's going to be called Salem or something like that. It is a little cheesy and maybe cliche, but I thought, okay, well, maybe we'll just put new in front of it, right?
Yeah.
So, but yeah, it's basically an old sleepy type of town in New Jersey. But what is it? It has some sort of a past, obviously, but the main story revolves around this one girl. She's goes to college there, and she's just your average typical college girl. And after one day at work, she comes home and out of nowhere just turns into a werewolf, just straight up. And the rest of the story kind of.
Let me interrupt you there. Just curiosity. Nothing to not to make anything out of it, but she's a Hispanic girl, isn't it? I think so.
No, she's actually Asian.
She's American. Oh, she's Asian. Oh, right. Okay.
Yeah.
Got it. Okay.
Like
I knew she had. She had a.
She's a Vietnamese Chinese mix. Her mom was Chinese and her dad was Vietnamese, so that's kind of the backstory into that.
Because I knew there was a mixed ethnicity there, and I was thinking I can't remember what it is, if she's indigenous American indigenous or Hispanic, and you're right, yes. But carry on.
But yeah, no. Basically, the rest of the story revolves more her coming to terms with what she is, but also trying to find out why, and also battling the urges that arise over time of being a werewolf. So she has to, reconcile with what she's, awful things that she's probably going to do as a werewolf, because I'm of the mind that, werewolves are not, the nice, cute, cuddly things that we see nowadays or anything. They're like just straight up monsters, It's not. I would think that it's not a good thing to be a werewolf. That's always been my philosophy. It's kind of it's a curse for a reason. So, but she also kind of, she has to battle the kind of her morality sort of slipping away because of basically what's taken hold of her. And yeah, then that's pretty much the gist of it.
As I was looking at your pages, because again the transformation is pretty cool, and it just took me back to the old movies, from the 80s, after John Landis did American Werewolf in London, and
Oh yeah,
and there was Wolfen and all that, and I mean, I've always been of all the classic monsters, I've actually always been a bigger fan of the werewolf.
Mhm.
The vampire is cool, but for me, nothing. I don't think nothing beats the werewolf. There's something, apart from that it looks great in terms of epicness on screen. If we're talking about
Mhm.
movies, it's also I think there's a proper fear vibe attached to it that I don't think the other monsters can provide that. I mean, the zombies are cool. I mean, Dracula's cool. The zombies are okay, but I think only the werewolf really has the right amount of. We got to come up with a word for this, oomph. It's got enough ballsy enough to be to be self-assertive.
Right,
Um,
right. Yeah, I totally agree.
and
It's
it takes things on a different level, because you can make. I think you can make, because I'm always a big fan of the citywide destruction, kind of big monsters stuff. The King Kong, Godzilla, Mars Attack kind of stuff. Yeah,
Mhm.
and I think you can do that with a werewolf. You can take him out of the kind of the gothic chamber gothic kind of origin, and just put him wrecking havoc in the town.
Mhm.
Uh, and again, in American Werewolf in London, they do that, and they do that brilliantly. Even though
Yeah.
the actual werewolf is a little bit anticlimactic, but the build up to it and the whole arrangement of the scenes and the set dynamics is pretty cool. Let me put back the stuff on the stream. Okay,
Yeah, I went
so
ahead and got
it's perfect.
yeah, a little bit better here.
Yeah, so I can
Uh,
see the cover. That's your cover there, isn't it? That's lovely. And now all you need is to somehow maximize that and make it full screen. So then you can have a good look at those sweet pages, man. I like the logos coming out, coming off her mouth. That's cool.
Thanks. Yeah, this is actually one of my favorite covers I've done. So, is it not working? Is the screen not showing?
Uh, well, whatever it is, you're gonna have to control that side because it is showing the totality of
Did
the
it pop?
screen.
Did it
It's
pop
just
up?
he's too small, He's too small.
For some reason.
Just before it was working, when you had earlier on, you had the cover zoomed in. If you do the same, I guess you'll be able to see.
Well, I'm actually using a different monitor, and I don't know if that's gonna work now because it's actually a better monitor. I don't know if the monitor, quality matters a whole lot, but I can just move it back to the other monitor if that's better. Sorry. Um,
Now, now, as far as werewolves transformations goes, there's always a kind of metaphorical connotation between the advent of puberty and the actual
oh,
transformation into a werewolf. And your there you go.
there we go.
There we
Okay.
go.
Sorry about that. So, what were we saying? Sorry.
Now, I was saying there's always, as far as I understand, to my opinion, there's to me a connotation between the advent of puberty and the initial transformation into a werewolf. So I think originally that's the link, that's the connotation basically. And I
Yeah,
don't know
that
if
kind of. they kind of deal with that. Have you ever seen Ginger Snaps?
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
that's
So
kind
they
of what
over
that
that.
whole thing is about. So
So I'm pretty sure you're using that same premise because obviously your girl is a teenager and she's getting to that age. She's coming of age.
well, she's more actually in their 2023 age range. But it
Oh, is
actually,
she? Oh, right.
yeah, she actually goes back. The story will go back a little bit before that at a certain point to when she was more into high school, because a lot of the events of the story sort of lead back to what happened in the past a little bit. So there will be more. There will be
Oh, I think our guest
so yeah,
just.
this is the first page. Is that
Okay.
how does it look now?
Yeah, you just gotta increase the size of that. Zoom in on it or something. And I know this is your backstory of the town, isn't it? Yeah, with the American
Mm-hmm.
Indians. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. So basically, it
And
just kind of pulls in, and we
yeah, I
see
like
that,
that. That's
and
nice.
then slightly
It's just
pulls out.
yeah, it's just an illustration, isn't it? On the
Mm-hmm. Yeah. On the
and
actual
what is it
sign.
again? It's a sign. Yes, that's right.
Yeah.
And now there's the leading on to the double page spread. Yeah, your page 2 and 3. Yeah,
Yep. And
that's it.
that pops up in there.
That's the sign on the entrance of the town.
Yep.
That's right. Yeah, I dig that, man. That's great.
Yeah. This was
Let's
this one took me probably the longest to do was this page here, but obviously it's like
yeah,
it was
that's-
such an important page that needed that kind of attention.
and everyone just watching this now or later, and they started with that page and went like, yeah, okay. But there you go. This this is what it is.
Right.
This is lovely. Now you go from
Yep.
there into
What are you
this
saying?
nice transition, and this is lovely, man. This is talking about a sunset here. Yeah,
Yeah.
lovely.
Uh,
So I
and
guess it's Thursday. Yeah, Thursday.
Thursday. Yeah. And then we kind of each page I kind of wanted to like slowly zoom out, zoom in into each little thing that's in each page. So we kind of zoom into the
I like what
this
you've done
old
there.
church. Yeah.
That perspective, panel 2 there. I like the slightly warped buildings. So I like that. I always try and do that in my pages, and sometimes people don't get it.
Oh yeah. Well, you get it though. That's all that
Yeah, I
matters.
get it. That's what I'm
we
saying.
get it. We get why it looks cool. That's why we want to do it.
It's the difference between people that actually are looking into comics and know how to read comics, and then just the normie fan that's just passing by a comic and just looking for flashy pictures. There's a big difference, yeah.
Right.
So
right.
and yeah, that's the kind of comic I like. There's most of the guys I bring on this channel here. They know what they're doing. And I see a lot of streams with bigger names, and so some of their pages are such letdowns. And we're talking about like big names, guys that are not the guys that have been in the industry for 30 years, but big up and coming names, from the indie world, yeah.
Mhm.
And I see what they're doing, and I'm like, oh man, what a missed opportunity. It's not bad, but it's not great. And unfortunately, a lot of those guys get the bigger amount of people vowing for them. Unfortunately,
Right.
work like this a lot of times gets unnoticed, and that's why I always want to bring you and other guys doing work like this here and try to expose it as much as possible.
Well, I really appreciate it, and that's one of the things I've been really bad about. It's like honestly, me is my marketing has been terrible for this, honestly, because it's hard enough to just pull the weight of every like writer, artist, and all that, and I'm surprised that I've gotten anything is where I've gotten exposure now for what I've what little marketing I've done for myself. So, but I figured once I get it at least almost completed this first part, I can start to then really focus more on getting it out there, letting people know. But I really appreciate you let me coming on right now and sharing what I've got so far.
Right. Yeah, you can always come here anytime you like, and I mean, you're having a lot of work, man. The colors are looking great. I mean, the lines are good by themselves, but obviously the colors are really taking this into a whole other level.
Thanks, man.
You're zooming out again here. That's nice. This is to page 4.
Yeah. And then we just bam. Now we're in the mall.
Right. Yeah. So we got our heroine here. So she works in a mall. So this is set when? This is like current. It's This is
It is current time.
story.
Basically, 2016 is when I started this. So,
Yep.
I haven't maybe laid down an exact date. It may take place, maybe a year earlier, a year later, something like that. But
Yeah,
roughly
it's
around that
now.
time.
Yeah.
Um,
It's always better to do a modern story set in a modern setting, because otherwise you're gonna have to do research into cars
right. Exactly. Yeah.
and then houses don't change that much, but wardrobe,
Yeah. Um, Even though I
there is
really love the 80s so much, like that was, but
Yeah.
if I had to do it anywhere, it would take place in the 80s. But I figured if I can, do this in the current time, but sort of try and, bring that nostalgic 80s,
yeah, it still
aesthetic
has a
up,
vibe.
that'll
Still
work. And so yeah, this is where Sue works with her friend Meredith. Here, we get
Uh,
to know them a little bit. This is our first shot of seeing Sue.
right. Yes.
So this is basically our opening shot of her.
Mm-hmm.
They just talk a little bit, share chat. She's not feeling too well today. We'll
Yes.
find out soon why.
We'll find out soon why.
So,
So there
we
is
did a
there is a cast of characters besides her family
yeah.
and friends, and there's a certain level of, as far as I can understand, a certain level of conspiracy around this, right? Why
Yeah,
she's
there is mystery. Yes.
and will the interpersonal relationships between her and her friends will come into play when she loses control once she's a werewolf, right? And they
Correct.
become victims, and unwittingly they will become victims, yeah,
Yep. Correct.
without wanting to give anything away, obviously.
Right. I don't want to give it too much away, but obviously, what's happened to her will affect her loved ones around her, the people she knows, the people she doesn't know, people she used to know, things like that. So.
Okay, so we got here a transition now to a bit later, because obviously it was the day was coming to an end. Mall
Right.
is closing, and now she gets home. She's really feeling very sweaty, isn't it? She's
Yeah.
feeling very hot. That much I remember. And then you start this the whole process of the transformation. And oh wow, that's great. That shot there in the kitchen. The lighting is cool, man.
Yeah, this was tough to do. Like the lighting is something I've always kind of struggled with, and hopefully I've been getting better over the years. But this page in particular, trying to get the shadows right, and a lot of times too, it kind of sucks, but I think it works a lot of ways. Is like, especially up here in this first panel, like as much as the detail that I put into actually herself, I was like, you know what, it actually probably would look better if I just blacked a lot of her out.
I'm actually sorry to interrupt. I'm just actually going to put this in full screen. There you go. Because I can add further zoom into this for zoom, and I'm going to take off my logo actually, which is there in the corner of the screen, and then there you go. Now we can see this in all his majesty.
All right, cool.
There you go. Perfect. Now, you see, you're giving away all your hard work to the viewers of the stream. So I really hope that people that watching this really appreciate what you've been doing here, because it's a lot of nice little details, like she looking through the glass, isn't it?
Yeah, and that goes straight to the next page where we sort of see what she sees.
Because that's a very good shot. You see, she's having the glass of water. She's parched. She has all those straight gulps, and so she inclines the glass all the way to the top. So it gets to the point that she looks through the glass, and obviously is pointing at the moon, because she had a full glass of water, so thirsty that she is, and that's a great transition. The moon through the glass, and the moon obviously is not the moon as we see it. The moon feels hotter for her. It feels like incandescent, like a star, because obviously it's affecting her, because in her blood she's turning. And I gotta say, I originally saw the black and white of this. I'm perfectly happy with the black and white. And I was very curious about the colors you were going to do, obviously. And now that I'm looking at the colors, again, I gotta say that they transport you to an even higher level. I mean, they work great. So
Thank you, man.
you know,
Thank you so much.
yeah, no, I mean it's not a problem. It starts giving me this Simon Beasley kind of feeling. The little textures that he adds, that sort of thing. A
Mhm.
crayon look. I like that. Obviously it's all digital, but I don't know what kind of brush you use here, and I'm not the best guy to discuss photoshopping or whatever program you
Yeah.
use.
Actually, I
But
used it's funny you mentioned my computer crashed years ago, actually around 2016 when I started this. I actually lost a lot of the original work for this comic. The actual PSDs. I had still had
really,
JPEGs available, but oh yeah, my computer crashed and like an idiot, I didn't back up a lot of stuff. So
that's
um,
the black and white originals or already the color work? No, just the black and white,
just the
right?
black and white originals, right? Um,
Ah, what
yeah,
did you
it's
do? You
um,
redraw the whole thing to have a higher
well,
quality, or you
luckily,
JPEGs?
like this first chapter here is a redo. Um, I actually did a test run, which actually kind of sparked this whole thing. Was I did it was originally just going to be just like a little homage to American Werewolf of London, a little
Yeah.
quick comic transformation.
Uh-huh.
And then it got kind of popular. I'm like, you know what? I really want to do something more with this. I want
Sorry, sometimes you cut off there, but
to create chapter 1 already done, but I was not happy with it. Oh, sorry. Can you hear me okay now?
yeah, I can hear. Okay, sometimes you just cut off, but carry on. You're fine now.
Oh, okay. I'd already created chapter 1 beforehand, but it was very early, and I was like, I was not happy with it. So this whole first chapter here is a complete redo of that with way more, added art, and obviously, hopefully, I've gotten better since then.
Mhm.
But
That always
so yeah,
happens. I mean,
it
sometimes
happens,
losing files comes for the best,
right?
because in this case you were forced to do something, and
Oh
then it
yeah,
turns out
where was
that you
yeah? That's what I was meaning to say is with Photoshop is I had Photoshop, but since I lost my computer, I didn't have a disk. I had to find an alternative. So now I use Clip Studio. Have you ever used Clip Studio or know Clip Studio? Yeah, yeah.
I know
Actually,
it. I don't use it, but I know it.
yeah. It's a little bit different than Photoshop, and it has a little bit of a learning curve. But man, I tell you, once you get it,
Hmm.
I love it way more than Photoshop now. I mean,
Hmm.
it is so great for illustrators. I think they
Yeah.
really focus on the needs of illustrators as opposed to Photoshop, which they really don't care a
Yeah.
whole lot, in my opinion. So
Yeah. I'm loving the light there. Loving the light there on the second panel.
thanks.
Yeah, that's the right hue. It's bright in the center of the living room, but I like the way you balance out the tones on the edges of the panel. That's nice.
Thanks.
Yeah, but obviously, I was thinking the girl was obviously a teenager, so because I think it's you know there's a certain sexiness here, obviously, in the transformation scene.
Oh, of course.
Not after she gets hairy, but but
Right.
there is
Right.
a certain tingle of kink, and I always like that. It's underlined. There's like jazz is in between the lines. But I was
Right.
thinking, yeah, but he's a teenager. I'm not. Let's not. But now that you tell me she's 22, 23,
Yeah,
well,
you have to worry now, right?
then there's definitely an element of kink to it. And
That's
this
your
is very.
freak flag five. That's your freak
That's it.
flag five. Fly, man.
That's right. Now it's nice. All freaks are welcome. This is her teeth are falling off, isn't it?
Yeah, that's
And
one thing. Like, I'm big on body horror stuff, so a lot of this book is going to have that. And yeah, obviously, werewolf transformations are always have a lot of. Usually, the good ones will have an element of body horror.
but
And
I like that it's a small detail at the bottom of the page, that again, the reader that is not reading it, you'll just be distracted and you will not notice. The guy that actually reads the comic properly, you will notice, and he's pretty cool, yeah? The little teeth falling off. You
yeah,
kind of think, because basically the feet are taking over the panel there, you kind of think it's just the legs being a bit shaky and the sweat running down the legs, and that's it. Most people will concentrate on that until you realize the actual shot is because of the teeth. The
right,
teeth are
exactly.
falling on the carpet. Love it.
Yeah, yeah. And just that's one thing that's always cringe to me. Like it's good cringe. It's like ooh kind of cringe is teeth falling out of people's head.
Yeah, like
So
it. Hey man, you dig Crumb? Do you dig Robert Crumb? Because I can see a bit of his hatching in your in
Yeah,
your email.
I do like a little bit of Robert Crumb. He's a cool guy, and
He comes out, doesn't it? He comes out. He sometimes when you have a fan of Crumb, like if you really dig him, I can
yeah.
see a lot of times his work somehow comes out. Sometimes he comes out on what I'm doing, although I don't even touch his feet. But somehow, sometimes I'm doing something and I look at it like 3 hours later and I think, geez, this looks like something out of Robert Crumb. And I'm a big fan as well.
Yeah. I've always liked his dirty style. Like, I mean, obviously the subject matter is usually dirty, but I mean, just his art, I would kind of
Yeah.
categorize as kind
The
of
way it
dirty.
texturizes the skin,
Yeah.
and the
Yeah.
volume, the mass.
hmm
And the teeth are melting, right?
Right. Basically, when she changes,
Yeah.
anything that comes off of her, like blood, anything,
Uh-huh.
it kind of disintegrates.
That's
So there's
good.
really no trace. There's really no trace left of her. So
Because obviously, when she goes back to human, everything just regrows back into place,
exactly,
doesn't it?
right? Magic. And
Look at
this page I had a lot of fun doing.
yeah, love that
Obviously, this is all started as an homage to American Werewolf. It's one of my all-time favorite movies. So I was like, I was really looking forward to this part.
Okay, let's have a look at that hand on the top. I don't know if this is your final version, and this is a complete, just out of my ass comment, but those 4 panels at the top,
Yeah.
I would probably darken the background a little bit more. The tone you got at the bottom, that kind of purple-ish thing. I'll probably have completely personal opinion, yeah.
Oh no,
But
let me hear it. I honestly, I love criticism. So
the hand is great, man. I mean, zoom it in a little bit more on those 4 panels there. The hand is great. The colors, you're going that way with the skin tone. That's fine. I would keep the focus on the hand and the skin tone, meaning the background, the red on the top. I know he's kind of reinforcing the transformation. I'm just thinking he's probably taking a little bit away from it.
Okay.
I would just that reddish tone on the top, maybe find something in between that and the purple, like the deeper purple at the bottom, to extend that, all the way to the top. So kind of make it slightly darker, So I don't know, something like that.
All right. Well, I'll do that. Well, I'll mess around with that later. Actually, I'm glad you told me that.
Yeah, sometimes I just decide to give these opinions.
Hey, no, I love it. So appreciate it. So then it comes to realization that things are not good for her. She's starting to realize, obviously.
I like
it's not normal.
The detail of the sweat on the cleavage, that's nice progression.
Oh, yeah. You like that? Yeah.
Yeah, it's great attention to details.
Yeah.
Most guys will not think of doing that. They'll just keep on having the sweat and the blood draining down the body, but they don't think about the clothes being affected by it. So it's a nice level of detail, man.
Thanks.
I like that.
So then it starts to move around.
I love that shit. The arm going all robust and all the muscles. It's a great mutation because our body starts growing in different size, starts growing independently, isn't it?
All right, yeah. Everything just starts going nuts. But I'm always a fan of asymmetrical changes in things because it's a good reminder. Like always, like you see a hand in one way and then a normal hand the other way, like especially up here, like a normal arm. And then look at this. It's always just like a reminder, like, yeah, this is human. This is happening to a human, And it's just it's kind of a freaky reminder.
Yeah, I like that on panel 2. As she puts the other hand down, the other hand has already started mutating as well, a little bit on the arm, isn't it? And you always make the speed lines along the body transformation. So you know exactly what you're doing, man. That's great.
And this last panel is something I did before. A lot of these panels I drew beforehand, before creating the whole sequence altogether. Like they weren't in sequence, so this is actually one that I just had in mind, and like everything kind of led up to at least this point here, just because I really liked how this one turned out. And then we'll move on to the next one. It's a little crazier.
Yeah, nice. That is just the bone structure completely getting out of place, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's moving her spine and vertebrae.
Yeah.
Of course, the hair starts growing.
Yeah, that's the one thing that I'm adding in this one that wasn't in the original was the hair growth. Like I didn't add
Oh,
the hair growth until the very end, but this time around I was like, I really want to get that progressing going as she changes. So
I can see you keeping that tone, that background tone throughout, which is great. And here on this panel too, yeah, just following up on that other comment I was mentioning. Here it looks fine because it looks great because you got the compensation of the T-shirt. That's what I was thinking on the other four panels. Maybe just a tinge darker. That's all.
okay,
But it's all great. She starts begging for help when there's
right. It's
nobody
like,
around.
or you just try to think, well, what would a person say during all this? I bet they'd just be screaming, you know. They just be like, I don't know what to do. Somebody do something.
Great stuff, man. Yeah, I remember this. This is great, man. The fingers
Mhm.
twisting and turning at
Yeah.
the nails.
I really wanted the effect of like you can just hear it. That's one thing I always want to try to do is try to portray people hearing things when they look at things. It's hard to do without putting sounds.
I know
But
that that's another thing. Choose the right sound. And sometimes you got to create a complete sound. It's tough because you're coming up with these sounds in your head, and then you got to spell them out,
it's
and
so
then you got
hard,
to.
man.
This is great because like if anybody's looking at this closely, the claws are coming from underneath the
Mhm.
regular nails,
Right? Yeah.
piercing through the
Another
finger.
one of those cringy things like the teeth. Just like instead of things just morphing, they literally just pop out of you.
Yeah, that's right.
It's nasty.
And this transformation is hurting her,
Yeah.
or she's feeling the pain, and if as an effect of the transformation, or she's
Yeah.
just going along for a ride. I'm curious, in my head, that's pretty
Hmm.
cool.
So
And again, the
I'm
same,
moving downward now.
yeah, the same thing happening to the feet. That was probably the most excruciating moment, I think.
Well, it's like, I feel like, what are the biggest things the biggest changes,
Mhm.
that are center front in a werewolf change? It's like hands, feet, face. Those are the worst things that I think that change because they're so different than,
Yes.
the, than a regular human, what a wolf would have.
You have
So,
the toe, the big toe's got to go back inside. The
right.
actual foot is extended, and then a whole different set of articulation has to get into place. So
Exactly.
it's a pretty nasty moment. That's very good.
Yeah. And,
Uh,
yeah,
and the
this actually,
toes,
yeah.
that's great.
And you see fully how it really starts to turn into an animalistic type of appendage here.
That's right. That's great. Oh, one more muscle. Okay. Jesus Christ. I like. I dig it at one foot is already fully transformed, and the other one is still kind of okay. So it
Yeah,
starts creeping down from the leg, from the
yeah.
top of the leg down. Jesus, she ends up she ends up with zero clothes on.
Eventually, it takes a
Yeah,
while, but
that's great, man. Again, the King Calaman, love it. Well, I gotta say, man, I usually put these videos not for children, so I'm pretty sure this is gonna give nightmares.
that's my whole goal, man.
Yeah, that's why I can't wait to see this in print, man. It's
Yeah,
gonna be
dude.
great.
I'm really excited to eventually get it out to print. So, and then the back here is another thing that really I think changes one of the big forefronts.
Oh, you added the sound effects there. What is it? Pop, 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 isn't it?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh,
Those
yeah,
are my
yeah,
standby. So I do have a file that's just straight up to sound effects that I pull from.
yeah,
I've kind of created
yeah,
for myself.
yeah. That's something else. That there are resources out there for anybody wanting to write comics and thinking how what sound effects I'm gonna have. That there are quite a couple of pages online with a bunch of sound effects available. That's right. That's great. Fun. And this is the other foot that
Yeah.
hadn't changed yet. Yeah, that's great. Look at that. That's a really nasty piece of transformation, man. Getting closer together.
And this one I think I posted on my Twitter, at least part of it. So
Yeah, I think that's what I was looking at, and I think you're like, this is where you start going halfway through on the colors, isn't it? This is where you've up to where you've done it, isn't it?
we're getting close. Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. It's in here. Here, this is nasty, man. This
Yeah.
actually took. Again, this is that moment that you gotta appreciate, and gotta pause and look at it, because here is like her spine is extending, isn't it? Her whole
Yeah.
body is her whole
Stretching.
thorax, yeah, stretching. So, and so the ribs, actually, ribs have a life of their own.
Hmm.
Of course, if she loses a shirt,
Yeah, that's gone now.
that's
More,
it.
and then the rest of the teeth just start to come in. This was another one that I was looking forward to making. Her coloring.
Yes, that's a moment we all look forward to look at, which is obviously same as the talons and the nails. Her teeth are going to grow from behind the other teeth, isn't it?
Hmm. And then one last little gasp for help, and then bam, the money shot.
Yeah, no. Now I'm thinking about Company of the Wolves as a nice stretch of the mouth,
Hmm.
and also in if I remember well, Fright Night. Fright Night is a moment like that, isn't it? The
Fright Night has a pretty cool effects with their. Well, I guess it's a vampire, but that turns into a wolf. But it's sort of the same deal.
yeah, but the wolf transformation is something like that, isn't it? The whole nozzle just pops forward. That's great.
And
And
how it's great. I took a lot of inspiration from Rick Baker's in American
yes,
Werewolf, obviously. I love
that
that
was good.
his change-up had how like one side is still humanistic while the other one is
Yeah.
more animalistic.
I was going to ask you about that actually, because I was going to ask you if you're if you use those scenes as the reference, like.
Oh yeah, I look at them all the time.
That's great, because now we can see the actual black and white version. And as I
Yeah,
said,
then we get into where I haven't started to color yet. So
yes, closed eyes and then open eyes. And I love the black and white. Like I said, I think you should do a print version of the black and white by itself, because I'm digging the textures. There's a certain weight to it, with the textures that you've used.
well, actually, let me see. I actually think I have a black and white. Like it's not. It is. It's not just inks. It is actually like a black and white tone. Let me get your opinion. Let me see what you think.
I mean, I will leave it as it is. I don't know if you grayscale this at the moment,
Exactly, like it's a grayscale version.
but whatever you have right here now on the screen, I'll be completely happy like that as a consumer. I'll buy that black and white
Oh, yeah?
version.
Okay.
Yeah. I will not grayscale that. I mean, yeah, okay, that's understandable because you got the shadow and all that, and you need some gray in there. But
And then
this is bad. Well, this is nice. Yeah.
basically, I kind of wanted to hold off showing her full form until really chapter 5, where I'm at right now, is when you really get a first glimpse of what she looks like all in one piece. So,
and this is great. The pause walking on the carpet, and then the shadow over the photograph, zoom in, and then the exterior shot. It's nice, man.
Yeah. Well, this girl right here is actually the girl in chapter 5, the ones that I'm posting right now.
Mm-hmm.
So a little bit of foreshadowing that
Yeah.
She would meet
with
her eventually, like this.
the teeth right above
Mhm.
her face, and pointing at her neck. Yeah,
Yeah.
and this is it. This is the first issue, so to speak. This is the first
Right.
twenty
This
something
this this
pages,
would,
right?
yeah. If it would be an issue, this would be the first issue. Yep. Yeah.
Well, I mean, this is it. This is your grayscale version. Yeah, I mean, well, in a heartbeat, man, you should do a black and white print run and a color run. I mean, you're planning to take this as a crowdfund project, so you can get some budget for the print run, or you're
It would be
thinking on just
nice. Yeah.
right? Okay. I was just
I,
wondering if you think of just putting this on a shop like Etsy or Amazon or whatever, which they rip off about 50% of your of your profit,
I'd
or
rather not do that.
yeah, exactly. Or just go on crowdfund where they
Yeah.
just snag about 5% or 10%. So much better off like that.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
that's one thing I've been kind of keeping an eye on the industry a little bit, and it seems to be the way that it used to be. You call up Image, or you get a hold of Image, or one of these big comic companies, and they'd offer you this, and then
Or
you
they
get
offer nothing.
okay, and then right, and then it would sit on a shelf in a bookstore and collect dust, and it's like, man, that's not the future that I want. I'd rather get the book to people who want it, who are interested in it. Not
Of course.
just hopefully
Abs-
somebody comes by and sees it on a shelf and like, well, I might get that, or I might not. So I do like this new market that seems to be gaining traction.
Yeah, it's been around for a while, but just getting a lot of traction. There is a publisher in England called Folio. They produce hardbound books of classic novels. Yeah,
Hmm.
and it's basically almost like the old traditional clubhouse book club. Kind of publishing. Yeah, they basically have a catalog. They launch the catalog to the interested parties. Basically, you have to sign up to their catalog. You receive the catalog, and then based on a certain amount of pre-orders, then they do the print run.
Oh,
And it's
okay.
always very limited. And once it's done, it's done. And you can only find it on eBay if somebody's reselling it. Yeah, this is for just big novels, big important novels, and it's very expensive. Each book costs like 40 or 50 pounds, equivalent to $60 or something. Yeah,
Oh, okay. Wow.
and always it's a bit pretentious because it is what it is. It's prose books and all that. They don't have comics, but I gotta say it's a good business model. So in any other day it would not work, but because it's aimed at a slightly eyebrow market, it works perfectly fine. Yeah,
Yeah.
this new wave of pimping books through crowdfunding is exactly that, but on a
I
more
like the way you put
commercial,
that.
working class kind of environment, and I
Yeah.
think it's great. The only thing in the way is really the posting of the actual
Right.
physical sending the books to the backers, especially now with this COVID situation and the whole postal service going way haywire. It's a
Mhm.
pity. But beyond that, because you actually have to pay for the post and packaging, obviously when Folio does their books, because you're paying 60 a pop, postage is included, obviously. But in our case, our books cost 20 to 25, $30, but then you gotta charge, slightly more than cheap amount of post, to the backer. So
Mhm.
um, okay, but this is looking great. And one thing that I wanted to mention is another great little detail is that you kept her hair. You kept the
Yeah.
hair once she's in fully transformed. You can still recognize the character because you still kept the hairstyle,
Yeah.
and that's
That's something I wasn't sure was going to work, but God, that might be kind of cheesy. And I've developed her look, her wolf form over these past 4 or so years, and I wanted to really make it unique and right. And the hair thing is something that's always stayed with it, just because I don't know, there's something about it I really liked, and I hadn't really seen that before. And I don't think it comes off as cheesy. It might still, but I kind of still like it. I don't want to get rid of it. So I'm glad that you said that. I'm glad you like that.
it works. It works, man. I
Yeah.
mean, you not only that, there is still a resemblance to the character. The nose, the canine teeth, of the fangs kind of sticking out a little bit forward. You can the whole assemblage of the face as a werewolf, it still reminds you of her features. It's pretty good.
Yeah.
It's pretty solid. So, and
Yeah.
this is what is a promotional poster, or is one of the covers that you're thinking on using?
It's a promotional right now. I think I actually did. I can't remember if I'm pretty sure this might be in the same size. So if I wanted to, I might be able to make it a cover. But this is just
Well-
like I did this as like a lot of the influences that I get are from walking through old video stores when I was a kid, looking through the horror sections. Looking at old VHS covers.
Yes, it looks like a typical VHS cover. You're right. That's
Right,
pretty.
right. That's what I was kind of looking for. And even like this, her face here in the background is reminiscent of, like, I can't remember, it's like the Howling Five or something like that.
Yeah.
Cover of that movie.
Yeah.
That has always stuck in my brain. So obviously that kind of comes out in some of this.
Okay, well, you probably have more werewolves movie than I have. Howling 5, I had no idea. I know Howling.
Okay, there's lots of Howlings, but the only good one was the first one, and maybe the fourth one. Maybe the fourth one, but after you don't have to worry about any of the other ones. They all suck.
I gotta go and brush up on my Howlings, man. I have no idea. After the third one, I had no idea. I gotta go.
I think it was called the marsupials or something like that. Something stupid, but yeah.
That's the fourth one. All right, I have to check that. I know
no, the fourth one's called the Freaks. I think is what that one's called.
Freaks.
Yeah, it takes place in like a circus or something like that, or a traveling circus.
But does it have? It has werewolves in it, yeah.
Yeah, it has one. Yeah.
Your sister is a werewolf. Is that the third one?
That's the
second one.
Yeah.
Right.
And it basically supposedly takes place right after the first one, but doesn't do a very good job. But they were able to afford Christopher Lee, so I guess that's that.
Yes. Well, we all know the second one. That's right. We all know that one. But let me just take this out of here. Okay. Right. So, I mean, I don't want to give any more ideas. Every time I got a guess here, the guys are just, they're planning their, just like yourself, they're planning their books, they're planning their release. And then let's say 6 months later, they became millionaires. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, right.
I don't want to give any more ideas because I always have the shortest end of the straw. So, but I gotta say, what's the plan then? I mean, you're where exactly are you in those 150 pages?
Oh, probably around 120 right now, I believe.
You're taking your time, yeah?
I really do. I am taking my time, and I don't want to rush this. I thought it does bother me that it is taking me so long, but it's just like, if I'm going to do this, I want to do it right.
And you think you are releasing this as a single book of 150 pages? Isn't that a little bit too much?
I don't know.
Once you put that on paper, there's going to be expenses, yeah. So it does cost you a certain considerable amount of money to print 150 pages plus the covers, yeah. Sure. That's why I mean I think you're on the right path. I think if you made your decision already of not making it a floppy, but I don't know, 150 pages maybe. Yeah, is there a way you can cut that halfway through and make it like a 70 pages, 75 pages first chapter?
Yeah,
and,
it might be possible. I can maybe even
change something there in the middle, maybe add a page or two.
The second chapter, I'm gonna have to actually go back and read it since I redid the first chapter. Like I said, I started this in 2016, and the first chapter I did. I want to pretend that didn't exist because it's so awful.
When that burned off.
Yeah, and so much as the second chapter is sort of the same way. Like I've developed this style. Like I've only gotten into comic making these past 4 years. I'm an illustrator, by job. Like it's what I used to do for a living. So I've drawn all my life, but to develop my own style like this, I've never really done, especially for comics. So a lot of the stuff I've made mistakes with, I wanted to go back and fix. Like I didn't want to redo the whole book. Like you can't constantly go back and redo everything. I know that, but at least the first two chapters I know I needed to actually redo. So the second chapter I'm gonna have to redo. I don't know how many pages that's gonna end up being once it's redone, but
Mhm.
I might be able to at least split those up into two, just make maybe one book. You made a good point about that. That is a lot of pages for one book, and I don't want people to be paying out the ass for it if ever was
Yeah,
copy.
yeah. I mean, he kind of it's a logistical thing, you know. Once it's a lot of pages, obviously you do need to pay for the printing of that, which means that in turn the backer will have to pay extra for that.
Right.
I mean, obviously it's a full color book. I'm sure you're gonna have nice paper because you got strong colors there. You need something that holds up that weight there of the paint, and then you got postage as well on top of that. When he's a 70 pages book, he weighs one thing, but then as he gets to 150, it's not the double. I mean, it is technically the double of weight, but for a package, it's
Mhm.
pretty much doesn't change things. But if you're going to be adding a few little things to it, I don't know what sort of merchandise you have planned for this, or if any. But if you're planning on adding a little bit more, then suddenly your package becomes considerably heavier.
Yeah.
And again, that's something that you don't want to end up like me. You know, I was end up paying from for a package by myself.
Oh
Uh,
man. Ooh.
it's, yeah, a lot of stuff coming out of your pocket is very easy when you're going at this solo and doing printing and distribution. You know, because I don't know how much experience you have on that field, but on that side of it. But as it starts, it's very easy to snowball into a bill that suddenly you go like,
Oof. Yeah.
right, this is coming out of pocket now. In my case, it's like, yeah, the print run of the comics is covered, but then I've added this and that. I add quotes. I always, I knew it was going to be part of whatever I was charging
Mhm.
customers for, but actually when it comes to closing day where you actually have all the receipts, I realized no, half of this is all actually coming out of pocket.
Oh
So,
man, I'm so sorry to hear that.
and
Ouch.
it happens to everybody, or it can happen to anyone. So
Yeah.
and yeah, I knew it was going to happen to me anyways, because there's always a certain amount of risk in these things and you're prepared for it. Yeah. But yeah, just a heads up to you or anyone else, you know, plan it really well, because again, if it is small potatoes, like in my case it's small potatoes, yeah. But if you get lucky and you get a lot of backers and you're printing out, let's say, more than 500 copies, then costs can easily add up, you know, costs
Mhm.
that you hadn't planned for.
Yeah.
So, you know, I think I want to have this book as soon as possible, man. I mean, as soon as you're finished with those colors, man, I'll be quite happy to have a 74. I'll be very happy to have a 74 pages book, because most books, the guys, even if they're doing just a single issue, they're still doing them around 40 pages, which is like two floppies together, you know, 44 pages, something like that, 45 pages. And they're quite happy to put that out there, and that's it. It shows off the work, it shows off the first two issues, so to speak. So if
Mhm.
you're going to offer something which is half of that, half of your 150 pages, my God, that's already a very generous offer, yeah.
Yeah.
And you know, I can see you painted almost the first 30 pages or 20 something pages.
Mhm.
Yeah, I'll just, if I were you, I'll just concentrate on the next 30, and then just put that on a trade and put it out there, man. I mean,
Okay.
obviously, you know, you're also gaining support online, but you know, with what you have done by now, I'm pretty sure that's more than enough to get yourself out there and making really nice, lovely little print run on this. That'll be great.
Yeah. Well, I'll definitely take that into consideration, man. I appreciate the help and for
Yeah.
information about that, because that's one thing. Like, uh, my biggest focus was just getting this book done, at least this first part, and then worry about the rest later. Like, then I can really start focusing on, all right, so how am I going to do this? What do I need to do? How much is it going to cost? Those kind of things. Trying to take that in sequence. That way, I'm not too stressed out about one thing while I'm trying to even just finish the book.
Yeah,
So
obviously, first of all, think about your art, think about your story. This is all considerations for the future, you know. But you know, just if it helps you kind of condense and rearrange your story in some way, it's just an idea, you know. But again, now that I said it, it's guaranteed you're gonna become a millionaire. Yeah,
Right. Yeah.
every guy that came here became a millionaire. Believe me.
I can't wait. I'm looking forward to that first
Yeah.
check in the mail, man.
Anyone watching this, just subscribe to my channel. Go back to all the videos I've done in the past, and you see all the guys that
Oh,
came
yeah.
here. And yes,
Awesome.
do subscribe and do the thumbs up. Yeah, everybody.
Oh, yeah.
'Cause
Smash that like button, guys. Smash it.
smash it.
With your head.
Everything until he bleeds and the teeth are coming out into the carpet and nails are breaking
right.
through the bones.
Yeah, not
Well,
really showing some support unless you bleed, man.
That's it. Well, I'm gonna have to let you go to your rest or the rest of your day. I'm gonna get myself some dinner as well here. So thank you very much for coming, man. Yeah.
Oh, I appreciate it. Thanks you so much,
Yeah.
Lewis. It was
So-
really fun. So
Yeah, cool. This is a bit longer than expected. This is a stream that I usually use just so that
oh gosh, is that really 150 minutes that I see up there? Wow.
that's right, almost 2 hours. It's the longest stream on when gnomes attack. Because again,
Oh wow. Okay. Sorry.
yeah, it's fine, man. The point of I was the one dragging. The point of these streams is just mainly so we can hash out some concept art for our next project that myself and the Bacon Alice are doing. But we always have a guest here and showing off his work. So it was a pleasure having you here and showing there's something about Sue. He's looking great and really keep us updated, yeah, when you're gonna be releasing this, yeah.
Absolutely, man. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much for coming, man.
All right.
And thank you everybody on the chat as well. And
Thank you guys.
let's see everybody next week, in principle next Friday, for some more of this and hopefully with another guest as well. Bye bye, everybody.
Bye bye.